Guys, so I have now expanded all of this brass. So there's all 300 pieces that have been expanded. And my buddy Sway has actually started setting up the neck turning tool. This part of it takes a really long time. And I'm sure there are people that are a lot better than us at it, at setting it up. You know, here's how it works. I expect to lose a case or two. It's you just chalk it up to the game of reloading. All right. So here's what we have. We have the 21st century reloading. Neck turning kit, and it comes with the lathe, and it comes with the cutter, and this is the shell holder, and this portion of it is where you got that 6mm turning tool head. The cutter is, if you can see right inside there, the cutter is right inside there. And so you adjust this portion of the cutter and this portion of the cutter by using the screw here, the screw on the back here, and the screw here. So we already set these two screws to be able to fit into the case. So if you look, it makes sure that it can go all the way into the case like this, and it'll just touch the point of that datum line right there on the shoulder. You don't want to get too far into it, so you don't have any failures of your brass. But the way that neck turning always works out is this part right here is the longest. So we started setting it up. We'll let you watch us work it down. There's lots of videos on actually how to set this up, but one of the things that you're going to see is as we start going through, we try to trim, we keep each one of these brass in the exact same lot that it was, okay? So a lot of brass, and they're actually all the same lot of brass, but I still keep them in the same lot. I haven't weighed them. I usually don't weigh Lapua brass. But I do figure on losing a couple of pieces of brass on my neck turning. I always do. And then if you see right here, what we do is we write Fowler on them, okay? And so it's a dummy, it's a Fowler. And if I can save the brass later on, I do, but I really don't worry about it. I just chalk it up as just part of the cost of reloading. I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that will tell me that I'm doing it wrong and y'all are the best. And I understand. And I'm sure one of these days I'll get better at it and I'll understand how to do that portion better. But here's how we do this part, okay? We chalk it up into the shell holder here. And one thing that you're going to find, add a little bit of that Imperial Wax lube. One thing that you're going to find is you'll go halfway through this lot of brass and all of a sudden we'll find one that doesn't quite fit, and then we'll have to readjust it and do them all over again. So we turn the drill about yay fast. I don't even know how fast that is. It's definitely not all the way pulled on the trigger. See how it's giving us an even cut all the way down, and then it stops us right there at the datum line. Pull it back nice and easy. And then what it does is it gives us let me see if I can give you a full comparison of one that is and one that isn't here. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know how well you can see that. Trimmed, not trimmed. You can see where it just touches the datum line. And what this does is this gives you when you fire the round, the pressure all the way around that's holding the bullet is exactly the same. So it comes out of the gun exactly even and level. So that the one side of it's not squeezing too much on the bullet, which will make the bullet come out kind of crooked. It comes out even and level as it goes, and the pressure stays the same. I'll tell you something crazy about the pressure part of it. I have a 338 Norma, and I was using Peterson brass. We just did this a few weeks ago, and I loaded it, and I have my notes, but the notes basically are I was getting 2778 feet per second and a standard deviation of 7. And so I decided that I was going to turn the necks on it, because at first I wasn't going to. So I turned the necks, and when I did, my speed went down to 2032 or 2732, but my standard deviation went down to 4.4. So I was able to put more powder in it, get my standard deviation lower because it doesn't have the pressure squeezing on that bullet as hard, right? So turning necks is, I believe, a key part in having a very accurate load for your rifles, okay? Now, also I want you to know, these steps that I'm doing, I do them for every rifle. You can do them for a 223 all the way up to a 50 BMG, any precision rifle, hunting rifle, bolt action rifle, even a precision AR. I will follow these steps exactly. We had a Mark 12 for a while, still have a Mark 12. I follow these steps exactly on a Mark 12 to be able to have a precision load every single time. So let me show you a couple more of these. Now let's mic this. So you remember whenever I did the micrometer that $268, just a little less than 268 all the way around. So when I did my first portion of measuring it, I did, it was 269 virgin, 270 expanded. I expanded all 300, and then right here I'm going to write it was 0.268. So off virgin brass, I've taken 1 thou off of the total portion all the way around. And so I've uniformed it and made it to where it will release the bullet exactly the same every time right now. Now, like I said, we'll go through this brass, and as long as when you're going through the brass, you can see that all the way around,
clean cut all the way around,
it is totally clean cut, then you're done. But if you see a spot that has a low spot in there, and if I find one, I'll pick it back up and record it. Sometimes it's not there, sometimes it is. It's a pain in the neck when it is because you got to go back and redo it all. But once you set it, that'll make it to where all 300 of these brass, and once I set this, if I decide to keep it this way, all the brass that I ever use will stay exactly the same on the neck tension for me whenever I'm shooting. So we're just going to go, and as long as it's clean cut the whole time, we'll leave it. And once it gets to a point where it's not clean cut, we go back. We set just this cutter portion right here down with this screw and this top deal. We set it down just a little bit and get the rest of it, and then we go back and do them all again. And that literally changes from lot to lot on brass. I was lucky. I ordered these from Graff & Sons, and all 3 of them came out as the same lot of brass. So after my 338 Norma, I used to think that it was like a 50-50, especially on Lapua brass, or Lapua and Peterson, that maybe I wouldn't turn the necks. I'm 100% believer in it now. Not because the brass isn't good enough, even the top line brass, because it makes it to where it releases perfect every time, and that's what I want for a precision round. Anyway, guys, so just remember step 1 was expanding them. Step 2 is turning all of the necks. I'm going to turn all 300 of these necks, and then we'll come back and show you the next spot. Thanks for watching.